Welcome back to What Arty Noobs for General Disturbance. This is the 105 leFH18B2, the French Tier 5 Premium SPG. We know it's a Fifi La Pew Pew, you might know it's a leFH, a leaf blower, or a leFH. This one is located on the southwest spawn of Glacier, under the command of Geladen of CWB, and his only equipment is binoculars. Game on! I can understand why someone would want to enhance the view range. This thing's already got 390 meters. If you extend it even more, 25% when of course this thing is stationary, then of course you would actually be able to see the enemy long before they've got into view range of you. So they wouldn't see you, but you'd certainly see them. The problem is that this vehicle does have to move quite a bit because it's got a very narrow arc of fire, and as a consequence of that, well, narrow arc, it's 30 degrees, 15 degrees either side of the center line. And the consequence of that is that if you have to keep moving, you keep resetting the binoculars and they have to wait until they're lined up again. Rounds out the first shot and he hits an enemy tank, an Excelsior, who was hiding behind that rock over on the other side of the battlefield. Now, this Arty is a 105mm light field howitzer. It hasn't got the entire range of the battlefield, but it has got a very fast fire rate. It can't fire everywhere unless you go closer to the center of the map, then you can fire everywhere. And the enemy's worked out where he is. And look at that, an M44 managed to get a direct hit on his first shot for 163, so that's pretty bad news. And it means the enemy M44 must have been looking for him. It's a tier 6 game with tier 5 or tier 4 tanks in it, actually. The enemy's got an M44 and a Gorilla. On our team, of course, we've got the Fifi and an FV304. So Geladen's lost some hit points, but that's okay because he can keep firing. He's trying to get this T-34 at the moment. Lining up, rounds out, and... oh my God, he gets him! I think it did help that the T-34 took some hits beforehand. Lost some hit points, but I think that shot was so devastating and it did hit the target right on. I think that it would have gone through him even if he hadn't lost hit points, and it probably would have been a kill shot. He's now looking at this T-67 right up on the center line. It's getting ready to shoot. If he hits this one, it could be a direct hit. Yes, it is. It's a penetrating shot for 389. So again, he's devastating the enemy. Well, he didn't get the kill on that one because the M4A1 on our team killed the Stug. But if he got it a bit closer, I think it might have been a kill shot. Now, the 105 light field howitzer is, in fact, actually a German design. It's a design from 1918, and that's where it gets the 18 in the name. And it was actually fitted on top of the Sharpie ones that the Germans decided to convert into artillery. They only made 16 of these, so not a lot, but they did make them from the Butte-Panzer, the prize tanks that they managed to capture from the French after the fall of France. This Arty was originally a tier 4 Arty in the game, but the Germans, the Wargaming, actually realized that that was way too low, and they actually had to increase the tier to tier 5 instead, because it was just too much to have this Arty at tier 4. It would have been devastating to any enemy tank. You can see they're trying to kill that Kehoe. They managed to avoid his shells there because he's firing at such long range. It's virtually from the other side of the battlefield, and the shell takes at least 3 seconds to get there. Rounds out. You can see how long it's taking for the shell to travel that distance. Now, it is very accurate, Arty. If it's fully dialed in, it can be devastatingly accurate. But the problem is that it's such a long flight time for the shell. The enemy can move and get out of the way before the shell even arrives. And so if they've got warning that a shell is actually being fired at them, they'll just drive away. Well, that guy didn't, and the Panzer III Aslains just got hit. Rounds out again. And that's another direct hit. And if you get permanently tracked with this Arty, then it can be really bad news, because you might go out the game, because it might be able to hit you with its reload before you've actually managed to fix your tracks. Well, that guy fixed his tracks and moved on. We're now looking at an M10 RBFM who's moving backwards and forwards around that spot. Now, we fired one in and just landed the shell behind him, so he does have warning that he's being fired at. But he's continuing to move forward, and now he's dead. A direct hit went into the cockpit and killed everybody on board. M10s don't have much in the way of armor, so he didn't have much chance of survival. We fired at long range without being fully dialed in at that Basotto. We can't see him now. Again, view range is very important, and the Arty's trying to get him again. Now, who was it this time? This time it was the Gorilla, and we did take damage to the tracks, but it didn't take any hit points. Did give us some stun though, because the Gorilla is 15 centimeters, and having a 15 centimeter caliber means stun is normal. M5 Stuart fires long range, doesn't get anything, wasn't dialed in, and in fact the M5 Stuart goes down to the FB304. Oh, what a good shot! The Panzer III Aslains J we hit earlier in the game, and he went down with an accurate shot there, fully dialed in, and it worked. Our team is one tank down on the enemy at the moment, but Geladen is actually doing quite well because he's got 3 kills already. He's the lead scorer on his team. Trouble is that both the Arty on the enemy team are still in the game, and both of them have fired at him when he's located in this general area. So they both know where he is, and they might be inclined to actually try and counter battery him. Well, we can see the Basotto now. He's being chased by the Cruiser 4. Of course, the Cruiser 4 is a tier 4, the Basotto tier 6. Here he comes, and he just gets absolutely wiped out by the FB304 at close range. That was a shotgun. So now we're trying to get the T28. Long range shot. Did do some damage to his tracks, but he's pulled back to try and get away from our Cruiser 4. Both tier 4 tanks. He needs to watch out for that IKV-65 too, because of course he's tier 6 as well. We fire one in, and nope, didn't get that one. No, we've lost sight of the enemy. Oh, now there's the Gorilla. So if we fully dial in, we might be able to take this guy out at long range. He fires one at, well, wasn't fully dialed in, but he tried. He's going to have another go. Fires one in, and we pulled back, so we didn't get to see if that was a direct hit. But in fact, it wasn't. You can see that well, he did get a direct hit, and he got a penetrating shot there. Unfortunately, we lost the Cruiser Mark IV. He was taken out by the M44. But the problem is, oh, T-34 shielded just went through and nuked the T-28. Okay, so he fires one at the Gorilla and wipes him out. But no, he didn't get the kill. The Juno got the kill of the Gorilla instead. So we thought that we got it. We did get a hit, but we didn't kill. So we're 1 up on the enemy now. There's 5 left on the enemy team. Now that binoculars that he put on the vehicle, it's not really proving much use actually. Because of course, you can see at the moment that he's the enemy's just not within sight of him. Now, a better use of equipment might have been either than, of course, using gun laying drive or a pair of rammers or a rammer, would be to actually use the turbo, because the turbo would actually give you increased speed. This thing's not very fast, 28 kilometers an hour maximum speed. And that means that you need anything that will actually give you a bit of extra movement. Only 4 left on the enemy team now. Now, I like this because he's actually moving to get... Oh, he's not. He stops again. I thought for a second he was going to move into a better position, so he's actually getting closer to the enemy. But he stopped because he wanted to take a shot at this IKV-6252, who's being assaulted by the T-34 shielded. But of course, he's using his 90mm round to get back, and the IKV gets killed. So now there's only 3 enemies left. He's decided to get a move on. So he might actually be able to use those binoculars, but only when he's stationary. You can't use the binoculars when you're on the move, and it would be better off with coated optics if you're on the move at any time. Now, one of the enemies has been spotted at long range. The Excalibur, same one he fired at before, but he's way over the other side of the battlefield. There's only 3 left on either team now. So they've evened up the score. For a brief moment, that T-34 shielded was equal to Geladen in the number of kills. And there is the Stug. And he's being helped by the Excelsior as our Hellcat goes around the outside. Oh, what a shot! That was a penetrating shot on the Excelsior. Completely devastated the tank by landing on top of the hull. And of course, the top armor of any Excelsior, or any tank actually, which is very weak. Now, we just saw the Stug knock a tree down trying to get at the Hellcat. Fires in the Stug's path. Missed. And I'm afraid our Hellcat took a hit from the Stug. And it looks like he's got the 105mm main gun. Or can he actually have the 105? It's the Stug B, which is the tier 4 version, and he's just killed the Hellcat, which is good for him. But he's now been hit and tracked by us, and he used his first aid kit, with his repair kit, to get moving again. We fired him blind, but no joy. So there's 2 left on our team, 2 on the enemy team. They've still got their M44, and we're now closing in on the enemy. This is why I'm thinking that the turbo would have been more useful, because of course it would speed you across the gap. Getting close to the 2-minute mark. Okay, so he's decided to come up this way. And there's the 2-minute warning. And look, there's the enemy Arty. The M44 is on the move. He knows he's been seen. His sixth sense went off. And now he's pulling back. He's using that rock for cover. The shell hits the rocks and the M44 knows that he's been fired on. He's turning to face us. So we're trying to get a shot on target. Misses with that one. And we've been spotted. The M44's seen us. He's coming straight for us, actually. Shotgun time. And he misses with that shot. And there's the Stug. They're both coming towards us. The Semavante gets killed by the Stug. And now we're the only one left alive against 2 enemy tanks. This is going to be kind of last minute. And here comes the Stug. We fire one in. We get a shotgun. He's now going shotgun on the enemy. The reload working for him. There, he gets the kill. And now the M44 comes in. He shotguns us. But he misses at killing us. And now we've got the chance to kill him. And he's turned it into a turning battle. And that won't work for him, because we will get more shots on him before he reloads. And this is the kill shot. Yes! Wins the game, gets the top gun. Here's the end of battle stats, and that was an ace tanker game for Geladen of CWB in the 105 leFH18B2, the leFH. He actually managed to get a bruiser medal for getting at least 5 critical hits. In fact, he managed to get 19 in this one. He got a Starks medal for surviving the battle, having received at least 2 different enemy hits and losing 2/3 of his hit points in the process, and of course getting 2 enemy kills in the process. On top of that, he got a high caliber for dealing the most damage in that game, and he also got a top gun for getting at least 6 kills. He killed the last 2 enemy tanks to win the game. His win rate was 12,330, which is super unicum and a lot more. Very well played indeed. Let's have a look at team score. Well, he did get the highest damage, and it was 2,601 hit points. The second highest was the M44 that he killed right at the end. He got 1,501. And the third highest was the VK3601H on the enemy team with 1,277. When it came to kills, you can see that he also got that, because he got 6 kills. 3 kills went to the T-34 shielded on his own team, and also to the Stuttgart Aslains B on the enemy team. And when it came to base XP, he got that one as well. So he's got the top in all 3 columns. In fact, he got 1,248 experience points, which puts him as the only player to get over 1,000 base. The next one being the T-34 shielded with 771, followed by the Cruiser 4, who managed 673. So all 3 columns, he got the top. He fired 43 rounds in that battle, which means he only had 7 rounds left at the end of the game. He got 15 direct hits and 6 penetrations, and he wasn't using premium rounds or heat rounds to get those penetrations. He was using standard HE and still punching a hole through the enemy vehicles. In fact, quite a few of the enemy vehicles he hit, like the T-67 and the T-34, well, they've fairly thin armor. So yes, he did aim the shell exactly where he needed them to get the penetration. The M10 is another one. Very thin armor, easy penetrations, but he put the shell exactly where it would do the most damage. He got 14 splashes as well, 2,601 hit points, of which 2,196 were at more than 300 meters. That means about 400 hit points was done at close range. He received 2 hits from the enemy, 3 hits by way of splash as well, and 1 enemy vehicle spotted, 9 enemy vehicles damaged, 6 killed, and 44 hit points of damage assistance. He managed to get a profit of 129,064 credits in that game, as well as 4,493 experience points as well. So exceptionally good game in a, well, tier 6 game with tier 4 tanks. Difficult for you to do well unless, of course, you dominate the battle, and he certainly did in that one. So very good battle by Geladen. Thank you very much indeed for sending this one in. It's always nice to see Arty come out on top when you've used the vehicle correctly. But I would suggest maybe the turbo would be better than the binoculars, but it's up to you. Hope you enjoyed that replay. If you did, please give this video a like, and thank you for watching.